Most men spend days crafting the perfect message, rewriting it, second-guessing it, deleting it, starting over. And after all that effort, she reads it, puts her phone down, and moves on with her day. But what if the secret was never about the length of your message or how hard you tried? What if 3 specific words, used at the right moment, could make her stop whatever she's doing and think about you? Not once, not twice, over and over again. And no, it's not "I miss you." It's not "you're beautiful." It's something far more powerful than that. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will completely change how you communicate with women forever. Hey, welcome back to Lauren Ponce. I'm so glad you're here today, because today's topic is one of the most requested ones I've ever received. We're going deep into the psychology of attraction. Specifically, how the words you choose can either make you completely invisible to a woman or make you the only person she can't stop thinking about. If that sounds like something you need, make sure you subscribe right now and hit that bell, because I drop content like this every week. All right, let's get into it. Here's the hard truth. Most men have been taught that more equals better. More compliments, more check-ins, more effort, more proving yourself. They believe if they just show her how much they care through sheer volume, she'll eventually feel it too. But that's not how attraction works. Attraction is not a math equation. You can't add up enough texts and suddenly create a feeling. Because obsession, real, deep, can't get you out of my head obsession, doesn't come from effort. It comes from impact. The right words don't just enter her ears and disappear. They echo. They show up when she's driving, when she's lying in bed at night, when she's laughing with her friends, and suddenly, without warning, she's thinking about you again. That's the difference between a man who tries hard and a man who leaves a mark. Now, I want you to understand why this works, because this isn't some dating trick or cheesy pickup line. This is real psychology. Here's something most people get completely wrong about attraction. They think it's logical, like a checklist. Handsome? Check. Stable? Check. Funny? Check. But real attraction doesn't live in the logical brain. It lives in the unconscious mind, the part you feel but can't explain. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists who ever lived, said it best. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Think about that. The moments that stay with you aren't always the biggest or the most obvious ones. It's the glance that lasted a second too long, the comment that made you feel seen, the sentence that painted a picture in your mind you couldn't shake. Those are emotional anchors. And they bypass logic completely. They go straight to the part of her brain that decides who matters and who fades away. Most men never speak to that part of her mind, and that's exactly why they're forgotten. By the way, if you're finding this valuable right now, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. It genuinely helps this channel grow, and I want to make sure you don't miss the next video. Okay, back to it. Let's talk about the conversations most men are having right now. Hey, how are you? Hope your day is going well. Just checking in. Safe, polite, warm, and completely, utterly forgettable. Here's the thing about the human brain. It doesn't record every conversation like a camera. It works more like an artist. It sketches the moments that matter and blurs everything else. That means safe, emotionless messages get blurred. They merge into the hundreds of other safe, emotionless messages she's received and disappear. But a message that sparks curiosity, that creates a mental image, that stirs something she didn't expect to feel, that gets sketched, that gets remembered, that gets replayed. Think about how scent works. One whiff of a familiar cologne can instantly transport you back to a memory, a person, a moment, a feeling. Words work exactly the same way when they carry emotional weight. When they don't, when they're just filler, there's nothing for her mind to hold on to. You haven't lit up her emotional wiring, so her brain files you under forgettable and moves on. And here's where it gets worse. When men realize their messages aren't landing, what do? They try harder. Longer messages, more emojis, over-the-top compliments, question after question after question, just to keep the conversation alive. And every single one of those moves backfires, because the unconscious mind resists pressure. Attraction needs space to grow. It lives in tension, in mystery, in the quiet space between words. When you flood that space with effort and desperation, you don't create attraction, you create work. What started as something light and playful suddenly feels heavy. And heavy is exhausting, so she pulls back, not because she doesn't like you, but because you removed the very thing that makes attraction possible: curiosity. Here's the shift I want you to make. Stop trying to fill the conversation. Start trying to impact it. If every other man hands her a glass of water, safe, plain, expected, be the one who strikes a match. Water keeps you alive, but a match gets your attention. All right, you've been patient. Here they are. The 3 words that make her think about you long after the conversation ends. I noticed you. That's it. Simple. But let me explain why these 3 words are so powerful. Because it's not just about what they say. It's about what they do to her unconscious mind. First, they signal awareness. In a world where most men are performing, showing off, trying to impress, saying, I noticed you, tells her that you actually see her. Not what she's wearing, not her looks, her. That is rare, and rare is magnetic. Second, they create curiosity. What did you notice? Why did it stand out? Suddenly, she's in her head, replaying the interaction, wondering what you saw, wanting to know more. You've planted a thought she can't uproot. Third, they spark emotion. Being truly noticed by someone, deeply, genuinely noticed, is one of the most powerful feelings a human being can experience. When you trigger that feeling, you don't just become interesting, you become unforgettable. But here's the key, and this is critical. These words only work when they're genuine, when you've actually noticed something real about her. Her energy, the way she laughs, the way she lights up when she talks about something she loves. The authenticity is what makes it land. Without it, it's just another line. With it, it's a moment she'll carry with her for a long, long time. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Attraction isn't built through effort. It's built through impact, through words that spark emotion, create images, and speak directly to the unconscious mind. You don't need to try harder. You need to speak smarter. Stop filling space. Start creating moments. Because the man she can't stop thinking about isn't the one who texted her the most. He's the one who made her feel something no one else did. That's who you can be, starting today. If this video gave you a new perspective, I'd love to know. Drop the word noticed in the comments right now, so I know this reached you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, speak with intention. Leave your mark.